Actually took French class.
Raise your
these
hands.
things. Raise your hand if you took French. We did. We learned a little bit un peu de française.
Did you? No, you didn't do AP, right?
AP French?
Yeah. Girl, there was AP French.
No, I was not going to do AP French.
I knew someone who did AP French. What? My thing is, what was the prompt for that? Oh, you probably had to write a whole thing in French, no?
Oh my God. Really?
No. Sacre
C'est impossible. Yeah. No, yeah, I could never have done AP French, even though I had taken French since like 6th grade. I took it 6th, 7th, 8th.
Really?
And then in high school, and still I was like un peu retard.
When I went into senior year, I took Italian. That was fun.
Italian sounds nice.
The only thing I remember really is the meaning of Chicago.
What?
The poop. Sorry, I did say it. It's like
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago means to like poop on, like you. Yeah.
Poop on you?
Yeah.
Poop on yourself or poop on someone?
I don't know. I think it's on someone. I think it's on someone else.
I would have thought it was like some Native American name, like an old Native American word.
No, we got that here. Sonota sasa.
There's so many crazy names in Florida that are Native American.
Yeah.
Okeechobee?
No, what drives me wild is, does 50 stay 50? No, it turns into colonial.
I know. It doesn't make any sense.
I can't.
It's not like street numbers that make sense. It's like names and numbers that all become one.
Yeah. And it's all like, wow, so nice. Come with us to Candy Mountain, Charlie. Versus like grid pattern, Miami was. That I did like
New
about
York,
Miami.
Yeah, big cities make sense because it's actually a grid pattern,
Here they're like, oh, we're just going to put a road here and then give it 3 different names.
Yep, literally. Mitchell Hammock, what is it? What does it become? Who knows?
Everything else except Mitchell Hammock past a certain point.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe we don't remember very well because we're getting older.
Great transition. What a segue.
Wow.
You're the master.
You're so good at this.
You're good at this. It's like you should have your own podcast or something.
By myself? I don't think I could do that by myself.
The acousticness that is coming out of us right now.
Hi, welcome to our podcast.
So crazy. I know. Yeah, so we've gotten older. What we thought we were gonna be
let's go over what we thought.
Okay, what did you feel like Alex at 30 was gonna be?
Alex at 30 was definitely gonna be working in an office building,
okay.
Middle management.
Okay.
But making around $80,000 a year, which is nothing now.
Yeah, but back when you were a kid, it was like
that was
rich.
a lot. That was rich.
Yeah.
With my own house,
of course.
I honestly didn't see my kids yet in the picture, so that's the only
thing
that's
stayed in the picture.
I did, but I never saw his face.
But you had a husband, in your dream.
Okay. However, I had my first sexualization of Tarzan at a very young age, so it kind of falls into play. My man with dreads, and anyways.
Wow, it connected.
Right? They say like your first Disney crush, like hardcore Disney crush, is the person you married.
Maybe mine was the Beast.
Beast makes sense.
I never knew it was the Beast, but I think it was.
Nobody wanted Philip. No, it's not Philip. What's his name? No, that's the horse. Yeah, which even the horse was more attractive than the prince.
Philippe was the horse. And then what was his name? Prince something?
Nobody cares because he's so gross.
Turned into a grosso.
He was so feminine to look at.
Even as a kid, I was like,
I'm like, you're prettier than me.
I was like, why did they give him that weird expression with those crazy eyes and that long hair? I did not like it. And then when they kissed, I did not like that. I felt really uncomfortable as a little girl. I was like, I loved you all the way till this point. This is very confusing.
And now the movie is ruined.
It is ruined forever.
Yeah, no, I did not like him. But anyways.
So that's how you envisioned yourself.
I envisioned myself. And I thought like 30 was going to have like more wrinkles and feel older than
yes.
what it has been.
Yes.
I thought I'd be like more tired and more mature at the same time.
See, I feel tired.
You got the tired. Yeah, I don't know. 30 seems so much older when I was in my
of course
teens and early 20s than
yeah.
actually being in it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. And 30 felt so far away.
It did.
It's like when I get to 30, if I even get there.
It's like that's always so me. Far. Like whenever you schedule like a concert,
yeah,
like
I remember,
to go,
yeah.
and I'm like, are we even gonna be alive?
That's how I feel too. I'm like, who knows what the next year is gonna bring?
I could literally die tomorrow. And
so pessimistic.
We paid for this concert.
We're so pessimistic. I know. And then there's people that like do like long-term investment, like pay for
like
things in
5 years. I'm gonna go on this trip overseas. I'm like, why don't you just do it now? Just do it now. You don't know where you're gonna be in 5 years. I don't know.
I have a picture of myself. I don't know if I can find it, but I kept it. I drew a picture of myself when I was 23, like looking forward to, this is what I think I'm gonna be when I'm 23. Mm-hmm. And I drew myself with like this like cool wavy long hair and like all cool, and like I was like, I'm gonna be so cool when I grow up. And I definitely always wanted to be a wife and a mom. That was definitely something I always wanted to be. And then I definitely wanted to be a fashion designer. So I don't know where that went. I wanted to be a teacher for a long time. Then I wanted to be a fashion designer for a long time. And then, so I think I probably thought of myself as probably being some cool fashion designer.
Yeah, cool creative.
Creative, like living that cool, like creative boss life. And here I am.
Well, like maybe not fashion designer,
but something, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of creative. Yeah.
You are super creative. A lot more creative than me. You're like, here, do this project. I'm like, wow, I never would have thought of doing that. Wow. Putting napkins on a pumpkin.
Who would have thought? And then it comes out cute.
You came out really cute.
Yeah, decoupage your pumpkins, girls.
Good times. Good times to follow. But yeah, I really thought 30 was going to feel so different.
Yeah.
In terms of headspace and physical representation, body situation.
I will say at 32, not 30, but at 32, I did notice a change in my physicality. Like I noticed like my face looked different.
Yeah.
Like I noticed I felt a little different. Like I felt like aging kicked in at 32 for me.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's like now I feel like, okay, my face has definitely changed.
You noticed things.
I've noticed a change.
Shifting.
My body is super different. But I don't know if that comes, that's a whole other topic for another day, because running on cortisol is not a way to live.
No.
That's high anxiety life for a long time. But my body looks different, and I don't know, my face does look different. It does look older, but I have a better appreciation, especially since I didn't appreciate my 20s face. I'm starting to get to a place where I'm like, let me appreciate my 30s face, because it's not going to be the 40s face. So, but yeah, what I ordered versus what I got, totally different, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I have really enjoyed the transition from 20 to 30. And I love being 30. I love the headspace. I love that more mature. Is it the
more
level
grounded.
Is it the level of maturity that I thought? I don't know. I thought it'd be like a 50-year-old psyche.
Sage.
Yeah, in a 30-year-old body. But yeah, I love that more well-rounded, balanced thought process instead of, I don't know, 20s was like really sporadic and just,
yeah.
I don't know. It was very cringy. My thought process in my 20s was really cringy, and I don't look back fondly on who I was in my 20s.
Yeah. Well, it's because you're given freedom for the first time to make your own choices, and we're all going to make bad choices. That's just part of life. We're all going to make bad choices. You'd not be human if you didn't. So it's like, yeah, we look back and it's like, why did I do that?
Why did I do that thing?
Yeah.
And like certain, obviously not just relationships, romantic relationships, but also a company that I held. I'm like, why did I even try?
Yeah.
Why did I hold on to that for so long? That was not good.
Yeah.
Not that I had that many, but I wasn't very good. I wasn't as discerning as you were. I was just like, everybody, be my friend. Mm-hmm. Please. please be my friend.
Yeah, I think that's very common. It's just like seeking out friendships and connections anywhere you go, seeking it out.
But yeah, and I'm not in middle management. I am maybe the middle management at home. I like I said, don't have my kids yet, which I went back and forth for a long time, with not having.
Making that decision.
Right. Because I mean, my thing was the headspace to have kids. I know technically you'll never be ready to have kids, but there were so many things in my 20s that I knew that I had to change in my emotional processing and my mental processing, just thinking through things that I knew wouldn't suit a baby well. Like it just wouldn't be good for a child to have to go through having an unstable mom.
Right. Which is responsible of you. Because sometimes people are like, I'm a mess, but also I still want a baby right now.
Yeah, no, I could never.
Yeah. I think that's responsible because then you kind of avoid that struggle with, having, because it is a struggle when you add another person to your family, when you add a baby to the mix. It really changes everything. To me, that's that's more of a drastic change than when you get married. Right. I feel like the marriage stuff changes a lot, but adding a baby really changes everything.
It's a heavy change. Yeah. Like it's a significant, okay, I have to raise this, and not just raise this person, but also raise them in a manner where they are productive to society. Yeah. And then also be a steward of them. I love that episode we had with Carolina where she's like, they're not mine. I'm a steward of my children. Right. And it's heavy. It's heavy. And I think if you don't think about that, then you might want to start thinking about that. Yeah. Because having kids isn't just willy-nilly.
No, not at all. And every kid comes out so different than you expect. You know what I mean? Like you don't expect to have a child with special needs, or you don't expect to have a child with ADHD, or you don't expect to have a child with whatever symptoms or other things, because you're just thinking like a kid is a kid, but sometimes they have different difficulties, right? Right. So you don't even think about that. So that's also something to like kind of consider in a way, are
each one has their own personality. They don't come out carbon copies of the last one.
No.
So,
and the genetics is weird how they all kind of take a little bit of this person and that person. It's like, oh, I know where that guy from.
I know. I would like to say I'm pretty go with the flow. I know someone that's not. So that's going to be really interesting. But
personality is genetic too.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. Stubbornness is passed down. I've experienced this.
You're like just a small PSA.
I've experienced it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen it in other people's kids too. Yeah. Just like, oh yeah, okay. I know where that's from. And I know, I know what you're in for, kid. And I know what your parents are in for.
But I think there's, like you said, like what you ordered is not what you got. And I think like for me, like, I feel like I kind of got what I wanted ultimately, like at the base, which is like a husband and kids. But I don't think I was emotionally as prepared as maybe you might go into it, like motherhood. Because I was kind of more like, I know I want a kid, so I'm going to have kids. And so I think there was a lot of stunted growth in myself in terms of, I honestly felt like I could do it. I was like, I could do this. Like I had a lot of, I was pretty arrogant about becoming a mom, I think. And I mean, I feel it's good to have confidence in it. It's good to be like, sure. I know I can, I feel like I can do it. But I think there was a little bit of arrogance. Like, I could do it. What's the big deal? I could do it. So, and then of course I got like 2 very difficult children who are like, so very difficult. Yeah, they're very difficult. Okay. Like literally oppositional defiance, like so hard. And so yeah, I got that humble pie that I wasn't expecting. That was the part I wasn't expecting but ultimately it's for my good. because now, you know, I'm looking at it in such a different perspective, because obviously, yes, I cannot do it. I don't know how parents do it without knowing God, honestly, because he's the answer to so many things. Kids are so smart, and they will see things, and they will be aware of things that I'm like, as a parent that doesn't have like faith, like a faith journey, like how do you even answer like so many of these questions? Because kids will go at it. They'll be like, what happens when we die? Is God real? Is heaven real? The dog died. Is he in heaven? Like all these things. Like what happens to bad people? Like why are there bad people in the world? Like all these things that even as adults we question a lot of these things. Right. But it's like I'm so glad that I have more answers than not when it comes to this, even if the answer is, well, you know what? God is in control, and I don't have an exact answer for that, but at least we can put our trust in him. Right. So that's like a huge part of what I had to learn as a mom, is like,
that's your cop-out answer. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, because I think that was the biggest wake-up call, was like, whoa, I thought I was going to be able to manage all this on my own, but I really didn't. I really couldn't. Yeah. Like life hit me hard. Life hit me really hard when it's like everything felt like it was falling apart. Like I feel like from like I've said this a lot on the show, but I feel like there was a couple years, I would say from like 2020 to 2022, I was in depression. Like I was in deep depression. Like, and I'd never experienced depression before. It was situational depression, which I'm learning more about that, because there's like a physiological depression that literally means like your chemicals are off and you need medication. But there's also situational depression where your world comes crumbling in, and depression is a repercussion of that, which I feel like that's what I experienced. Right. But so I wasn't ready for all that. I wasn't ready for my marriage to be falling apart, my son to be diagnosed with all these medical issues, my other son being a terrorist, like all of these, not a literal one, but a baby one, a child terrorist. And so all of these things, the financial issues we've been dealing with, just so many things that you're like, you don't even think about, you know, that life hands you. And I'm
I think you paint such a perfect picture in your head when you're growing up about what your life is supposed to look like. And it comes out so different, but equally as beautiful. Because I'm not, like I said, I'm not anywhere where I thought that I don't have my own home. I'm not hosting the dinner parties that I thought I would be hosting in my very cute.
30, flirty, and thriving?
Apparently not. But I wouldn't change it for anything else. Yeah. Like if changing it meant that I had to be somewhere else in a different geographical location or be with someone else other than my husband, then I could never. I could never. Yeah. The picture that's been painted is different, but I still find it equally as beautiful. Sometimes it's difficult to deal with. It is. But it's through these hardships that you get to learn to grow. There's definitely a gratitude that goes into the hardship. Yeah. That really helps kind of help you navigate and grow in life all around. Yeah. Because if, I don't know, life being easy is fun for a season, but even that gets tiring, I think. I know that maybe to some people like, oh, my life has been so hard for so long, but you don't know who you can pour into with all that experience that you have. I know it sucks. It sucks. There are some experiences that you wish you never had to go through to acquire. Yeah. But sometimes it's not for you. Yeah. Sometimes it's for someone else's benefit. And I think if you accept that, it eases. Yeah. It eases that pain of difficulty.
Yeah. No, it's so true. Sometimes we think like, at least I did, I was like, this is the journey to success. This is the journey to the happiness and the life I want. It's like a straight shot. But we don't realize that like it's going to be a windy,
it is so windy,
crazy road that sometimes you're going to have to reverse and things are going to go negatively and backwards. And it's not going to be this like one shot thing where we see like the mountaintop. It's like, I'm going to get there. It's like, you're not going to ride one of those little like trolley things that take you straight up to the top. It's literally you're hiking this super difficult terrain. And if you haven't gotten to that point in life yet, you will, because life is like that. There's going to be crazy stuff that happens, and you're going to be, you might have an identity crisis. You might have life is just going to hit you like a ton of bricks, and you have to figure out how to keep going, how to keep getting to where you need to go. Right. Because you can't give up, even though that's what our nature wants to do. Our nature wants to just sit there and quit and give up and like not proceed or not grow or not whatever. And sometimes we sit there for a little bit, but we have to get up. We have to. You have to get up. It's impossible.
I throw my little pity parties for like 5 minutes.
I know.
Then, me too. But okay, you did it. Okay, move. You have to. You have to keep moving. On. You can grieve. You can grieve the situation, but eventually you do have to get up and go.
Yeah. And what I was thinking about this morning, actually, I was listening to a different podcast about like processing.
You were listening to a different podcast?
Oh my gosh. Did
Cheater.
I say that out loud? No, I was listening to a different podcast because I like a whole bunch. P.S. I always put these like little random like reels about like, these are podcasts I recommend. Bro, so many of those podcasts have gone so political. Like even since I posted that like a few months ago, just because the political climate is so heated now. I'm like, don't listen to anything I said. Like, honestly, those podcasts.
Listen to what you want.
Some of those podcasts, I'm like, I can't even listen to these anymore. They've gotten so extremely political. I'm like, this politics has nothing to do with your podcast. Why are you even going there? So, anyways, little soapbox, because I'm like, don't listen to any of the things I said. Just don't watch those stupid podcasts. They're dumb. But anyways, our podcast is great, and the one that I was listening to this morning was about we don't process the stuff that we've gone through. Like sometimes we bring anger and depression and all these things into our marriage or into our relationships that we have. And we never get a chance to process that. Like, yes, as a child, I had a really big anger problem, let's say, or I really have a big insecurity issue, like deep insecurity issues, and giving ourselves the time to process those and get them out of our system. It's like if we are going up that hill and we're carrying so much stuff, we're never going to get to the top. We're never. It's going to take us forever.
No, the heavier the burden, the more difficult.
You got to unload that stuff. You got to unload it and process it. Look through the bag. What do I keep here and what do I not keep here? Right. Most of it you're going to get rid of. Most of it's going to be junk. Just throw it out. But some things we do need to keep. There are life experiences we need to keep. And we're going to, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to put my backpack on. Let's keep going. But it's like we don't give ourselves the process time to look through that bag and see like, what are the things that are helpful for me to proceed? So I feel like I've been in a process right now, in a season of processing things that have been a struggle for me, like with me for a long time, that I am seeking a counselor about, a therapist about, and figuring out like, why is this still such a deep-rooted issue in me? Like I feel like I haven't figured out something that everybody else has figured out. So I started seeing an eating disorder therapist because ever since I was 7 years old, my parents have put me on diets, and that has been very hard for me to process as an adult. It's like, it seems like everyone else knows how to be healthy or knows how to be in like a normal weight. And I feel like I've never had that. Even at my lowest weight of my whole life, I was still technically overweight. And so I don't know if I'll ever appease a doctor by my weight. I don't know if they'll ever be like, you're in the correct weight bracket for your height. And like, I don't think I'm ever going to be there necessarily. Maybe I will. But at this point, I needed to get to the root of the issue, and like I needed to look through that bag. I'm looking through that bag right now. It's a process, and it might take a couple years. I don't know. But I've given myself the permission to take that backpack off and open it and see, I hate everything in this bag. Like, this is horrible. Why was I carrying this for so long? You know what I mean? And I think that's the good part of like when life is not what you expected. It's like, we have the opportunity to change that negative storyline.
To hold space for that moment where we get to look at, okay, this isn't quite what I thought. Why? Can you finally get to a place of why? You finally are like, okay, well, I can't go forward. So give me a second to look through the backpack. Yeah. And yeah, that's an important part of the process. Right. Because as fun as it is being like the fun friend, constantly wanting to do certain things, it does get to a point where everyone moves on without you. So maturity is part of the growing up. Whether you're like, no, I don't ever want, you're gonna have to. Like, if you want to keep like good, stable relationships in your life, you need to go through the maturing process. Like, I know the whole young at heart thing is a really popular thing, and that's fine. I don't think you ever have to like get like, aging doesn't have to define you, but I think maturing
is important.
Is the thing.
Wisdom and maturity, because sometimes there's people that are like old aged, but they're not necessarily mature, right? So sometimes that number doesn't match, right? And sometimes there's young people that have a lot of wisdom, and you're like, why? You know, it's like, it's that process, it's that maturing process of self-reflection, processing these things that have been a struggle your whole life, and figuring out how to move forward in a healthy way. Because it's a lot. And we all have different things. For me, it's like cowering. I get fearful. I get like internal. For some people, it's like anger. It all's external. They yell, they get mad, they fight, whatever. And so everybody's totally different. So we have to figure out, what is our struggle? Where do we lack? Right. So, and that's the positive, like we were saying, the positive thing of aging. Yeah. You know, I think I look forward to aging because I feel like I'm on the right track in terms of mentally, right, where I'm going, you know? Yeah. Maybe certain things don't look the way I thought they were going to look, you know? But I think if we're maturing, like we were saying, gaining wisdom, then then aging is good. Yeah. No, I'm totally for it. I mean, I think the only thing that scares me is the physical aspect of it, right? Because I'm just so used to being mobile and like around all constantly, whatever, up and going. But I mean, that can be mitigated. So it's not really like a huge deal. But yeah, no, I look forward to it. Yeah. I look forward to growing more into myself. Yeah. And maybe that's different later. Oh, what's that gonna be like? Ooh, who is she? I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. But I'm hoping that she continues to grow more confident in herself, for sure. That part I'm enjoying a lot. Yeah. That's awesome. And definitely I hope that she's able to find grace, not just for herself, but for everyone else too. Because sometimes I find it a little bit difficult to provide people with grace. It's like, wow, you made a really dumb decision. Live in it. And it's like, well, we all do. We all make a silly choice. We all do. So I think there are some times where you need to be, if you know that person, you need to be honest. Yeah. But I think honesty with grace is everything. Yeah, it is everything. Yeah, because you can't be like, la, 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 whatever, da-di-da, it doesn't bother me. Because it does. We're humans. It does bother us. We can't live in denial. But yes, we also have to have that grace to be like, that sucked, but let's fix it. Right. So I think that's so true. That honesty. That's so good, Alex. Oh, thank you. I love that. I've been thinking. I love that. I'm doing a little thought processing. I don't look forward to having to like be really old, like wear diapers old. Oh, well, I don't look forward to that. At that point, just attach a tube that lets me just not even think about it. Catheter. Live in that catheter noise. What? No, I don't look forward to being that old, honestly. But it is a gift to age. Honestly, it is a gift to get old. To see, like, I think about like my grandmother. She's 80. Yeah, she turned 80 this year, and she's seeing her great grandchildren. Like, the older I'm getting, the more I'm realizing what a blessing that is. I'm like, am I gonna live for my grandchildren, let alone my great grandchildren? Like, she saw my mom, she saw me, she saw now my kids. Like, what a blessing to
3 to 4 generations. Yeah, to get to see that. To be a part of it.
Right. Because that's what I want to live for. I don't care about anything else other than my family, like the generations that we're building, our family that we're building. So I'm like, wow. My grandfather is 84. He looks like he's freaking
he's on point. He is on point.
His mind is really sharp.
Yeah.
His mobility is really good. And he's able to see his great-grandchildren. And I'm like, that's so insane, you know? So it is a blessing. It is a blessing. There's a verse in the Bible where it talks about like your white hairs are like a crown on your head. Like it is a gift to be able to get old.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's nice. That part of womanhood, it's like that no one talks about because we want to talk about
gray hairs.
No, getting to see your grandkids. There's not enough emphasis on that, I think.
I know.
There's not. Like, you brought it up now, and I'm like, yeah, that's so true.
I guess I never really thought of it, but I was like, wow, my grandmother is so blessed.
Yeah.
That she is seeing her great-grandchildren.
She literally mothered 3, 4 generations and beyond.
Yeah. I can't wait to be a grandmother. Like, I feel like I give grandma vibes. I've been giving grandma vibes since I was little. I'm like, I just want me and Josh to be old and like I want to bake and like I just want like my grandkids to come over and like we play and like
they make cookies with you.
Yeah. I'm like I need to live in my mom life still, but I'm like ready for grandma life. Like, what's wrong with me? But anyways, yeah. So it is a blessing to age and we'll be lucky to do so.
Absolutely.
If we even get there.
Oh, true. True.
Let's bring that.
I could be dead by then.
The morbid thought process. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this was awesome, Alex.
Oh, it was truly. Sorry, I cannot remove.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably could, but our sound engineer may or may not enjoy it.